What a day. What a day. Hello world, this is Shruti Pandey, and today I have with me Brijesh, who I think I wanted to have on my podcast for a while now. Namaste bhai, so good to finally have you. And
Namaste.
the precise reason why I was looking to have you on this podcast is to ask you one very dire question from my side, and probably a wish from my side, which I have been asking to Mahesh and Nitin. And then I was like, why am I not talking to Brijesh? And thank you so much. Thank you so much for giving your time.
Thank you so much for having me here, Shruti. Thank you. It's a pleasure.
So, shall we directly get into the questions, because I've created very hardcore questions for you. Usually I keep three. Yeah,
Hardcore.
usually I keep three, but I've kept two because the banda also is very hardcore, right? So the questions are like
Because I talk a lot. Yeah. Okay. So
no,
I got it.
it's not about that. And I think I might create some more questions on the fly, but
Right.
there are very important topics, or rather issues, that I want to discuss with you. And I think you would be the better person to answer this, like it coming straight from the horse's mouth is why I have kept these two questions for you. So my first question to you is around mental health awareness, and if
Oh,
at all, God forbid, there is somebody who is going through the journey in my family or in my know about, how can I help it. I mean, yes, I've done a couple of sessions about this in my earlier organizations, but I see you writing on LinkedIn about it very openly, genuinely, and honestly. So I thought, let's get it straight from you.
well, that's a interesting one. Let me put it that way. So
If I'm putting you on spot, then please
no,
let
no,
me.
no, 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 no. That's fine. That's absolutely fine.
Okay.
This is a subject which is not spoken enough. Okay. Because, and even if it is spoken, then it is spoken within close quarters. Not many people like to talk about it outside of a certain periphery. Now, the reason for that is because people are not comfortable in sharing stuff, because the way our system or our society is structured, okay, we get very judgmental when we hear stuff like this, okay, and mental health doesn't get the importance as much as physical health, because you can't see a person, if it is a physical problem, if there is an injury or something like that, you can see a tape or a band-aid somewhere, and you'll know that there's something wrong. Or if somebody has a stomach ache, he'll be holding his stomach, or headache, or holding his or her head. But when it comes to mental health, it's not visible, and since it is not visible, it is less important. Okay, that's the kind of attitude that we have. And if you say that there is a mental health problem, okay, in a society such as India, okay, it is in a lot of situations, it is considered to be more of a stigma than anything else. Okay, you might even hear people say, and excuse me for speaking in Hindi here, "Arey ye to pagal hai." Okay, he's mad, or she's mad. Okay, why don't you go to an asylum straight away? Okay, that's the kind of attitude that people sort of have, and that's why that is the reason why people are scared of talking about the situation that they are going through. Talking about mental health, about my own story, yes, you're right, I wrote about it on LinkedIn. Okay, having gone through an ordeal myself, a nasty one, and that too at workplace. Okay, it was not just a mental health problem. It was a mental health problem at workplace. It became tough for me to keep it to myself, and I uh, wanted to talk it out. So one fine day, I decided that okay, let's see what happens. And I wrote about it, and I chose one of my favorite mediums to do it, LinkedIn. I don't know why, but I chose. I could have written it on my blog page, but I still chose LinkedIn. And what happened after that was crazy, because after I wrote, I got more than 100 messages from people saying that they have gone through something similar, but they have never had the courage to talk about it.
So you wrote this after leaving that place, or you were still in the place and you wrote this LinkedIn
I,
post?
I I wrote it after I left. And I began by writing, thank God it's over. Okay. Because that's the feeling that I had. And it took me about 10 days after I left that place to muster up the courage to say it in public. Okay. And when I did it, I saw people coming in and telling me, you know what, we've also gone through this.
Yeah.
Then I asked them, why didn't you speak up? It's like, because we don't feel safe enough. Okay, so that brings me to one very important point. Okay, we all talk about you know workplace being safe. Okay, there are rules against harassment, and when you talk about harassment, there is this big checklist, or I don't know, a big don't list when it comes to sexual harassment.
Yes.
Okay, do we need it? Absolutely, we need it. Okay, but there is no mention of another kind of harassment, which is mental harassment. And if you are talking about employee well-being at a workplace, you better look at it as well.
Yeah.
Why am I saying this? Strangely enough, and I hope it reaches people on time. Upcoming Wednesday, I'm doing a talk at Eurostar conference talking about a similar subject. Okay, rather the same subject. And I want to throw some statistics out here. Okay. About 21.2% people suffer from mental health problems at workplace. Okay. Now, 21.2 is a very interesting number. This is because 21.2% people accept that they've gone through this problem. However, there are 61% people who do not acknowledge that they have such a problem.
Is it because people who are undergoing might not even know what they're undergoing through? Maybe
that's one reason, yes. The other reason for that is because they don't feel safe enough to share their problem.
I also want to understand one more thing here. You are not based out of India, right? You have not been working in India for a while now. And
Yeah.
this mental health journey happened with you, not in India. So
Right.
if companies as advanced or developed can have these things happening, and you already mentioned there is stigma around mental health in India, it is definitely going to make it even more unsafe for people to speak about things, right?
Well, yes. So here's the thing, Shruti. I mean, I mentioned India. Yes, India, there is definitely a challenge. But you know what? As advanced that, the other countries may be, okay, the stigma might not be that much there, but there is definitely an apprehension in the mind of people whether to talk about it or not. Okay. Now that is because the response when you speak up or speak out is people start judging you right there.
Yeah.
Okay. And when you're speaking out, there is a very thin line between you trying to put across your problem and show yourself as a victim. Okay. The line is very thin. Okay, so in a lot of cases, what happens is when people speak out of their ordeal, they don't realize when they've crossed that line. So what it appears to be a problem statement, okay, may also be flashing the victim card. Okay, so that's one thing. The other thing is, like I said, being judged. Okay, you say something, people already have a bias.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, this is nothing, no big deal. Okay, that's already there. Oh, I don't see a problem because you don't look physically disturbed. Mental disturbance is not visible, like I said. Okay, so physically you look to be okay. You don't have a headache or whatever. Why don't you just focus on work? Focus on something which will take your mind off it, is what people advise generally. People don't realize that you're not able to focus because your mind is occupied with this, because this is what you're going through. Okay, when somebody is depressed, the common thing that people say is, come on, cheer up. I mean, I am not able to cheer up. That is the problem.
Yeah.
It's not that I love being in this state.
Nobody, right? Nobody would.
Okay. I don't like being like this. I don't like being, doing nothing, sitting there, looking at the sky or whatever. I don't like being in that state. I want to be active. I want to be participative. I want to have fun. But I'm not able to. And in that, if somebody just comes and says, come on, cheer up. How do I cheer up?
It's like a trigger to that bomb, right? Which is about to explode. And you're like, that's the problem, I know. And how do I do this?
Correct. So the thing is, you asked me how did I deal with it? Okay. So the thing was that I was always, everybody is always aware that they are going through some problem. But the thing is, first to acknowledge that it is actually important to solve it. Okay, you can't be in that state of problem all the time. Okay, now I was telling you about some statistics. Let me come back to that. So there are these 21.2% people who have mental health problems. There are 61% people who don't acknowledge that there is a problem or who don't want to speak up about it. Okay, and because of that, you will see that out of the people who are actually suffering, whether they have claimed or not claimed, you will start seeing increasing absenteeism at work. So around 80% or something like that don't turn up to work, giving some excuse or the other. I am sick. Okay, I don't feel well. My family has a problem. Nothing. Okay, it's all here. Okay, it's all being triggered from here. Okay, you will see
a
lot of
trying to find a way and means to escape that.
Yes, correct.
Not making them happy.
Correct. So it is in a way trying to escape the situation. And what is worse is, a big number, that is 8% of these people either consider, contemplate, or commit suicide. Okay, so it is something that people will say, 8%, no big deal. Okay, 8%, no big deal. Why people say?
Right, that one person might be a
very exactly the point. Exactly the point. Okay, that one person may be the sole bread earner of the family. Okay, so it can't be no big deal. Okay, so this is nasty. Okay, now from a business perspective, okay, why is it a big deal? From a business perspective, because of mental health issues, each year approximately $6.4 billion are lost in business because of poor productivity, because of absenteeism, because of issues in products that are produced. I mean, if imagine a developer having an issue like this, okay, the kind of bugs that will be put in, and a lot of things. Okay, testers missing issues. Okay, you talk about it. I'm just talking about IT as an example. I mean, I'm not talking about it. Okay, so when you have situations like this, okay, there needs to be certain way in which you can try and come out of it. Okay, so first thing, what one has to do is to really sit down and understand, yes, there is a problem and it needs to be solved. So acknowledging is the first step. Okay, once you acknowledge, then you seek help. Okay, and you seek help from people who you can really trust, who will not judge you. Okay, and that's where the problem is. We don't have enough people with whom we will feel that level of comfort. Okay, but there is help available.
Yeah.
There are people who counsel. There are people who are medically trained to deal with these sort of situations. Okay, psychologists, psychiatrists.
Yeah.
Now, again, there is a problem. Okay, if somebody comes to know in the family that you are seeing a psychiatrist,
Oh.
okay, so you have to overcome that thought process. Okay, you should be like, okay, I have a problem. This needs a solution. I need to talk to somebody, even if it is a psychiatrist. It doesn't matter. Okay, you have got to have that strength. Sometimes what helps is you talk to somebody who is not a psychiatrist, who is not a family member, who is not your close friend, but somebody with whom you can actually share this. Okay, so in my case, I shared this with my mentor. Okay, and it helped. It helped because with a mentor you always have open conversations about problems that you have, and you get a good positive response. You get solutions to your problems because a mentor is walking with you in that journey, right? So I got a solution. Okay, I got support. I was being not just being heard but being listened to. There is a difference. Okay,
Yes.
some people will say, oh, I hear you. Okay, but actually when somebody is listening to you, you know that person is actually listening.
Right.
Because that person will get involved, ask you, what is it exactly?
Right.
The question that was asked to me time and again was not, how are you? It was asked, how are you really?
Right. Right.
Okay, because how are you generally response is, yeah, I'm good. You're not good, but still you say, yeah, I'm good. You're not okay, but you still say, I'm okay. Okay. So how when that person asks you, how are you really? That makes you think. It makes you want to say things. So I did that. Okay. Then what I did was in my own personal experience, because I had fortunately by then already started TTC, okay, as an initiative. So the test chat community was there. I immersed myself into test chat community activities so that I keep myself busy. I don't give myself the time to think about anything else. Okay, I immersed myself into it. I did. I don't know. I used to do 4 interviews of Test to Speak series in a month. Okay, and for one interview, I need at least 7 to 8 hours of preparation alone, because I need to study what the other person is, what my guest does. Okay, where does that person live? Okay, what has that person studied in his career? How has that person got to the point where, so or before the person gives me the information, I need to find out more. Okay, what kind of content, if they are creating content online, what kind of content are they writing? Are they bloggers? What kind of blogs do they write? Okay, read their content. If they're making videos, watch their videos, see if you learn something. Okay, do all that research, know more about that person. So it takes about 7 to 8 hours per person. So I used to do that, and imagine doing that for at least 4 guests in a month. There was a month in which I did 6 interviews, 6. Okay, and I did in a period of 8 months, I did, I think, around 30 of them. Okay, so almost 4 a month. Okay, and it was crazy. I just went into it, and alongside that, I used to do my Ask Me Anything sessions. So prepare for that. Okay, so I immersed myself into activities. Start new initiatives, reach out to people, talk to people, answer queries. I was completely into it, thinking that that would solve my problem.
This make you feel better at workplace because you're still there. You're still not out of that.
Yeah. So the thing is, you are trying to find a way out. Okay, you're still trying. I'm still trying to escape.
Yeah.
Okay, the worries at workplace worries remain. Okay, when I'm in at workplace for those 9 hours, I'm still there. Okay, I'm facing it.
Okay.
But
So that
but
prison
but the
sentence
moment
is
I
still
step out
going
of that
on.
place, if I have something else to do, then I'm not constantly thinking about it. Okay. But there were situations at work which kept on pushing me back, which kept on, feeling that I am that boxer in the ring who's getting knocked out. Okay. Okay. I was pushed to a corner, beaten, bruised. I tried to make noise, you know, help me, save me. For 2, 3 days, things would subside, nothing would happen. But then again, it would come back. It
Yes.
would come back because, oh, you complained about me.
Oh,
Really? Okay. So these kind of things happen, and it is not specific or limited to one particular country. Okay. It is because we humans have that tendency. Okay. A bully is a bully no matter what country you go to.
yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Somebody who has that mindset of harassing, you don't need a country or a label for that. Okay.
Yes.
So this happened, and when I was speaking to my mentor said, okay, what you are trying to do is you are trying to find a way to escape through your community and things like that. Okay, you're doing a good job with your community, no problem. Okay, you find comfort there, you're doing it, but you don't overdo it, because what will happen is it will have an effect on your physical health as well, and it did have an effect on my physical health. Okay, I had these big dark circles around my eyes because I did not sleep. I used to get migraine quite often. Okay, every now and then. So physically, I started getting affected because lack of sleep was one big reason. Okay, I would constantly be worried, thinking, what should I do? Even if I am reading somebody's post, at the back of my mind, in the subconscious, I would still be thinking, I would still be worried. So it was kind of crazy. And something interesting happened. Okay, so uh, my mentor said, oh, you like writing, why don't you start writing? Okay, again, you stopped writing, why don't you start writing again? Then I said, yeah, I write sometimes. No, be consistent in what you're doing. And that word consistent, it stuck to my head. Okay, and then I was like, let's see if I can do something about it. And what I did was, okay, let me see if I can write consistently for 100 days consecutively. Let's see how far I can get. Okay, and that's where I challenged myself to writing 100 posts on LinkedIn on 100 consecutive days. And I did it. Okay, I did it. I at one point I wasn't sure if I can do it. Okay, because I would run out of ideas, keep scratching my head. I think, what else can I write about testing?
Right.
And I chose only one subject, testing, because I wanted to make sure that, yeah, if it is a challenge, then it has to be a real challenge. Okay, if it was
I
random
understand
subjects,
the writer's block. Like, how much will you write about a topic? I understand. I've been in that place.
that's one
Have
thing.
to
And
take
you
one
see,
thing.
if it was general writing, any topic random, then 100 days you can write whatever.
Not
Okay,
like that.
you can write whatever. But since the topic was testing and it had to be related to testing, I know it was really difficult. And I didn't do 100 days, I did 101 days. Okay. I pushed myself really hard. Okay. And I found that I still have the ability to push myself if I really want to.
So, if I understand this journey of yours is not only very inspiring, but it also helped lead to the creation of this community TTC. Because in a way,
No. So TTC was already there.
Yeah, it was already there, but the way it began to flourish and nurture uh, is
Yes.
also something that happened because of.
Yeah, so that is definitely one of the positives I can definitely take from there. Okay, for me, I when I got into this community, I came up with a lot of ideas. Okay, a lot of things, a lot of initiatives, new initiatives. I would constantly keep thinking, what else can I do? What else can I do? And new ideas would come. Some got implemented, some did not because of logistical issues. Some did not because of whatever reasons. Okay, some are still there on the as they say, the slow burner. Okay, they will pick up heat sometime. I'm pretty sure. Okay, so for slow cooking, something is kept, which is getting cooked slowly, slowly, slowly. Okay, we will need some high heat sometime. We will bring it to high heat from a community perspective. So yes, the community did grow during that period. Yes, I was able to contribute. Okay, 100 days challenge I took up. It had a readership of about 2.5 million people, combined readership. Okay, so combined views of my post was close to 2.5 million. Um, so I did reach a lot of people, and a lot of people, different people, normal people who don't interact with me on a daily basis, started reaching out, asking questions, saying, "Hey, you wrote about this. Can you write tell us a little more?" Because a post on LinkedIn earlier it used to be 1,300 characters. Now they have increased it to 3,000 characters. Okay, so in 3,000 characters, whatever can you express? I mean, how much can you do it? Right? So there are certain posts which needed more information. So people followed up. I was able to answer their questions. And it was a different set of people. Okay. It did, like I said, it did get a lot of eyeballs. I mean, 2.5 million is not a small number. Okay. But yeah, that tells me and that told me at that point of time, yes, you can write actually. And it gave me some sort of a confidence, and it did help. So my mentor's words did definitely made a difference. It was something that
In elaborating and talking so much about community, I want to understand how old is this baby of yours, which was there since.
TTC. Well, so 6th of June, that is Monday, 6th of June, the test chat community turns 2.
Somehow I'm having these anniversary conversations, I had a similar thing with Mahesh, and I just knew that something is going to happen for his community. And this is again very spooky because I didn't know the date. For you, I had no idea that the anniversary is around, but it's glad. And I'm happy.
Mahesh, Test Tribe, yeah, Test Tribe, I think 11th of January is their anniversary. I remember it because,
I don't think so. I just
yes.
spoke to him in April or sometime. So I don't know. Maybe his official date would be like something because he started it as a hardcore thing, right? I don't want to
No,
get
no.
it.
With him, he moved full time. Yeah, sometime later, of course.
Yeah. So he
Yeah,
was
yeah,
mentioning about an anniversary of his, which was
yeah, yeah. That is when he took up full time. I recently saw
and
a post from him. Oh,
for
he's
you it's tomorrow and it's going to be two.
yeah. Mahesh. Yes,
And
he's been full
on
time
that
into this.
note, since we are talking about communities and Mahesh and TTC turning to, I have one consistent question in the words of your mentor. Consistent. I don't know. I mean, I was very hesitant asking it for the first time when I asked it to Mahesh. And I don't think so. It was more of a question. And I'll give a disclaimer. It's not like I'm biased towards any of the community or like I'm any torch bearer or influencer or part of any community. So I'm giving a very, very unbiased wish, stating that I want all these testing communities that are around to become like one magnanimous community plays. I asked this first to Mahesh, I asked this to Nitin the second time, and both the time I was talking to them, recording the session, I was like, I think I need to talk to Brijesh also about this. And the moment has finally come. So I want to understand, like, there any possibility that we combine all of this? Because I have been emitting this good intent of mine to the universe since a very long time.
Okay, all right. Let me talk about this to you and bring out my perspective. Okay. Uh, Technically speaking, all these communities are, related to testing. So we are all a part of the testing community. So
Exactly.
it is one big joint family that we have.
Right.
Okay. But within that joint family, there are many nuclear families existing. And for the progress of that joint family, these nuclear families collaborate with each other from time to time. Now, why do these nuclear families exist? Okay. Every time, yes, there is a community, they have their own agenda. Okay, they have their certain goals, certain things that they want to achieve for other people, because it's a community, right? Sometimes you may come up with something which the others have not thought of, and you would want to do it your way. But then later, of course, you realize that, okay, now that you've achieved that, now how about some collaboration? So you reach out to them, collaborate, and work with them. And that's exactly what is happening in the testing space as well. Okay, so I'll give you an example. Test Tribe, one of the oldest communities in India. Okay, I think they are about 4 years old or something. 4 years, I think. Okay, Mahesh, sorry if I got it wrong, but so they have been instrumental in channelizing, mobilizing, testing thoughts and discussions through different activities that they have been doing. Okay, you call it whether their webinar series that they have had IAMAs, they have had conferences, they have had test away sessions where people go offsite to a different location, talk about testing, have fun. Okay, they've done a lot of that, right? And now they have this whole space. If you look at their website, it's a repository for learning. They're doing such an incredible job. Okay. However, when I thought of something, okay, I was like, why do I want to have a community? Okay, my idea was not of a community. My idea was just to provide a platform for people to come out and talk. Okay, for me, biggest problem as a tester has been the fact that I do not get enough opportunities to talk, to tell people, this is something that I'm going through, or this is my problem. And the reason why I cannot talk is, again, the same thing that I was talking about earlier. I have the fear of being judged. So I said, okay, let's have a community where people will not have that fear and they can talk about anything that they want. And so on 6th of June, 2020, in the middle of the COVID lockdown, first lockdown, when, you're not going to office, so you're not worried about commute, you are done for the day with your work, okay, 8 hours done, so nothing else to do. You're at home, you're scratching your head and you're like, okay, let's do something about it. Start a WhatsApp group and say, only one rule, talk anything about testing, but don't judge anybody else's comment. Only one rule. And that WhatsApp group caught fire immediately. You do not know, the limit on WhatsApp is 256. It reached 256 within 2.5 weeks. So many people joined, and you should have seen the kind of conversations that people are having. People are talking about movies, and yet they're talking about testing. Okay, people are talking about mythology, and yet they're talking about testing.
Absolutely.
People are talking about, people are talking about their worst fears, nightmares that they have had at work. Okay, people spoke about social stigmas around testing. Oh, you are still a test lead, you've not become a manager yet. Okay, or you are a test manager. What do you do as a test manager anyways? What's your test manager? What do you test?
Yes.
Okay, these kind of things, comments that people heard, and they were not able to freely express their opinion about these questions. People came and they started. And when they started, within 2.5 weeks, when that limit of 250 plus was reached on WhatsApp, we said we have to do something about it, because this is just exploded. Okay, I had absolutely no idea what we would do, so we moved to Telegram. Said, okay, 20,000 people is the limit. Let's see if 20,000 people join. Okay, if 20,000 join, then we'll move to another platform, because we need a bigger house to accommodate those many family members. Okay, so then we moved to Telegram, and Telegram also, it kept on buzzing. Now, of course, it is as you would see with anything, things have stabilized. The number of messages in the Telegram group have decreased, but there are interactions that are happening. There is learning that is happening.
Is that rule still maintained? Like, of
Yes,
not?
it is the rule that you're not going to be judged. Okay, that you're not going to be judged. Okay, the rule was broken a couple of times. Okay, I'll admit it openly. The rule was broken a couple of times. We had altercations, but we resolved it as normal good people. Okay, and what more can I say, that the support that we have had from people for the community has been incredible. You spoke about Mahesh. Mahesh is a part of that Telegram group. Okay, you spoke about Nitin. Nitin is a part of that Telegram group.
It's a joint family, right?
Yeah, correct. So the thing about communities, you're absolutely right, Shruti, that there should be one big thing. It's your dream. It's all our dream. We are all a part of this big community called testing, but there are these small nuclear families, each having their own goal. Okay, and it's not that we don't come together often. We do, because whenever there are events, you will find most of these communities being community partners.
Yes.
So they're working with each other. Okay, recently.
Which is why I want it to be one, right? Like you are fighting or striving for the same goal, testing. You are all part of each other's place, because again, it's an extended joint family. So why not have that family, and let's have, okay, XYZ handles this, ABC handles that.
That is right, but each family here has its own way of looking at things. For example, if we look at the basic difference between the test tribe and the test chat, okay, a test tribe is for profit community, and test chat is a not for profit community. Okay, so there are these subtle differences that are there.
Every community would have started as a not-for-profit, right? He didn't start.
No, it could be the case. It could be the case, but because there are these differences, okay, we don't want to get into a mode where it has to be for profit. Okay, we want to still contribute in a not for profit manner. So we offer free sessions to people. We offer, tickets for conferences. Okay, we do all of that. We push people. Okay, we pushed people to become speakers in different conferences. Okay, we consistently for many conferences, international conferences, okay, offer tickets and passes to people, and and the community itself bears the cost of it. Okay,
Where are you getting this money from? How are you earning if you don't have any?
That's a very good question.
I see you guys have videos which would be like, presented by or sponsored by a company or something. So all that happens for free, or
No, no, we have had support. Okay, so our community, when we started off with this journey, we have had support. Mulya testing has been supporting us. Okay, Pradeep, when he started watching our videos on YouTube, he liked the idea of the community, and he came up and he said that he would like to sponsor, the videos. Okay, so that was a blessing. Okay, Pradeep and his entire team at Mulya, they have been absolutely amazing. Okay, I've always had Mulya in my dream companies list. Always. Okay, I've always wanted to work for Mulya. Always. For the past 10, 11 years that they have been in business, I've had them as one of my dream companies to work with. Well, now I've been collaborating with them from the outside, and it feels so good interacting with people. Whoever I interact with has always interacted with an open arm, saying, "Yeah, come, let's work together." Okay, so it's been that kind of a relationship. Mulya has been one. Test Project, okay, the company from Israel, they've been very supportive. A lot of events have been sponsored by them. They've said, "Okay, we will support you, do this." Okay, so we've had that support always from these companies. Okay, for the contest that we did for we tested an app called My Library Apps. It is a book reading app for African region. Very interesting thing, because if it's Africa, how do you test it from India? Okay, so so it was quite interesting. People found more than 500 bugs. Okay, so people are creative. People know how to get past it, and they've done very smartly. And guess what? A girl living in Canada won the contest. So these kind of things. Then again, My Library books themselves were the people who were behind that event. Okay, who supported. We recently did Axiom conference. So we had Testify. We had My Library books again, and we also had People, the company, the company from Tamil Nadu, the startup People. Okay, they offered help. So yeah, so likewise, the community is getting help from others. We are able to do these initiatives of pushing people to conferences and meetups and making sure that they participate, and then do our own stuff. Okay, which helps. It definitely helps. Plus, people in the community are a little generous, so we do get help there as well. Okay, because they know that it is not for profit, so we can't commercialize something. Okay, and thankfully, the YouTube channel. Okay, like I said, Pradeep has been very kind in supporting it. So that's been one more big help. So yeah, so it's quite simple. I mean, when you have the intent, you always find some support. Okay, you have to just uh, back your own instincts and say, okay, let's do it. So yeah.
I really asked you two very hard-hitting questions. I feel I'm not sure about you. Maybe you found them simple. Then
That's fine. That's
it's
fine.
totally okay. But I think, like I said earlier, these two questions were very important for me to understand, because what people like yourselves are thinking about it, and also again, since you have lived in this space, since you've been a part of journey, not just mental health and community. So it's better to ask people, right, who have lived that
Yeah.
life for a while. So
Yeah.
thank you so much, Brijesh. Any parting thoughts that you may have before we wrap this off?
Parting thoughts. Well, what can I say? I mean, testers all over the world, not just testers. I mean, everybody needs to understand that it is a good idea for you to speak up and speak out. Okay, for testers, there is of course the test chat community, which lets you speak up and speak out. That is one of the things that we do. Okay, in fact, talking about test chat community. We got our inspiration from a book, okay, the eighth habit. That's the sequel of 7 Habits of Highly Effective People.
Yeah.
Okay. And the 8th habit is find your voice and help others find their voice. So speak up, speak out, and help others speak up and speak out. That's how we got our inspiration. And that's been the motto of the Test Track community. So if you have a situation, talk about it. Okay.
Yeah.
Speak up. You will find help.
Yes.
Help may be delayed, but help is never denied. Okay. And I've noticed this. Someone or the other will step up and help you. You may not, a lot of people get discouraged seeing immediate help not being available. I advise those people not to be discouraged. Keep trying. Okay. As a lot of people say, as some wise people would say that, until you ask, the answer is always no.
Yeah.
So go out there and ask for help, ask the question that you have in your mind, speak your mind out. If you have an issue about something, talk about it. Okay, don't be worried or keep thinking that, oh, what will happen? Okay, what will ABC think? ABC may think of whatever. What does it really matter to you? Okay. Are you worried about solving your problem, or are you worried about the reaction that ABC have? Which is more important for you? If you think ABC's reaction is far more important, then go and ask ABC. It's as simple as that. If not, do your stuff, do your thing. So, yeah, so parting thoughts, yeah, speak up, speak out, be comfortable, have fun. Okay, there's a lot that everybody can achieve in life. So go out there and do it. Make somebody smile. That's most important. Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. And thank you so much once again, Brijesh, for this insightful conversation with me.
Thank you, Shruti. Thank you for having me. Pleasure talking to you anytime. It was great to be here. Thank you.